Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13 with another video review. Today we are going to be looking at the Titan class Age of the Primes Star Optimus Prime, aka Star Convoy. So, I do apologize in advance if some things get out of shot or if I bump into a camera a lot. My setup is not really the best for Titans, but I still wanted to do a review of this guy. So, we do want to take a look here at the box. And here it is. So first of all, we have all of our artwork on the front. We got his base mode, we got his vehicle mode, we got him holding the Zodiac. We got some of the other primes here in the background. We got all the statues of the primes here on the top. On the bottom, not really much, just legal jargon. Here we have him in an action pose. And then on this side we got a couple of those statues again. And then on the back we have all of our product shots. We get the little mini carrier. We got the Micromaster Hot Rod. We get him in his robot mode, his vehicle mode, and his base mode. So there is that. Oh, actually, before I take this away, I did want to do a size comparison of this box next to the $200 Titan. So, we will put this box back. So, just to give you an idea of how much smaller this box is. That fell over and hit my shelf. Yeah. Anywho, we also get our lovely instruction booklet. And it's got plenty to it. It's very big. So there is that. And, where do we start? Let's start with the articulation. So, we do have his head is on a rotation. For some reason it really catches this way. Can look down if you lift up that, or unclip it. Doesn't really look up though. These turrets, they are just on pegs and packed separately, so you can take them off, and they do have a swivel on the guns, or a hinge, but yeah, these can swivel around, so there's that. You get plenty of nice ratchets in this guy, so 360 at the elbow, arm can come out that far. Let's see if I can get a little further without this. A little bit further if you take the gun off. You do get bicep swivel. You do get plenty of elbow. You do get wrist swivel. And you also get opening fingers as one solid piece. You get 360 at the waist. You do kind of get up at the skirt armor. Can kick that far forward, even further backward, all the way out to the side. You get almost 90 at the knee. You get some collision there. We do get yeah, I'm pretty sure I already said that. We do get the thigh swivel, and we do get ankle movement. And these side skirts can move a little bit too. So there is your articulation for the robot mode. Heard something fall over. So yeah, there is that. As far as details go, we do have some like yellowish paint here. Probably could have used another coat. It's still a little bit on the bluish side. Do got some nice headlights here. That nice gold for the star. Autobot symbol there. Whew. Yep, see, I told you that was going to happen. The eyes do look nice, but, well, the head sculpt looks nice, but the eyes are kind of dead. The light piping is not good because it's just this little bar right here on the back of his head, so it does not light up. You can move these antennae out if you want. Yeah. Do get some of that trailer stuff there on the side. Do have those big old treads there. I've heard other people say that these pop off a lot, but mine don't seem to have that issue. I don't know if that's widespread or not, but mine seem to stay on well enough. So, there we got the prime booty. Yeah. So next, I guess we talk about the accessories, and yeah, there are plenty. So first we get 2 yellow blast effects, 1 large orange, and 2 additional tips for the orange. We get this big blue one, and this is solid plastic, not the soft plastic, so don't worry about leaving this attached if you want. We do get a sword handle that looks like the Matrix from the front, or from the top I guess, which is cool. We get this blaster, which does open up. We get a little plastic bullet, and I have my issues with this. We do get his big black gun, and then we do get the micro carrier, and then we do get that micro hot rod. So where to start with all this? Let's start with the hot rod, might as well. So to transform it, it's pretty simple. You do just kind of pull the arms out and rotate them down. You're going to flip out the legs, fold in these heel pieces, then fold the foot of the car down to form the chest, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, simple transformation, but you know, it's a small figure included with a larger figure. I'm not expecting masterpiece levels here. I do have an issue with these like hollow points on this. Like, I don't understand why that needed to be there. And like, even if it is, like, you could have at least painted it. Like, it just looks bad. Do have some nice silver paint though, and some gold. Nice reflective paint there on the chest. Silver for the face and the crest, and for the engine, and then a nice metallic blue for the windshield. And for a comparison, here he is next to the Core Class Hot Rod. Just to give you an idea, he's pretty much around the same size. But honestly, I do think this one was executed a lot better. Probably because it's a lot more simple too, but you know, sometimes simple is best. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Then let's talk about the micro carrier. So this does have rolling wheels. Let's see if I can adjust the camera here. Does roll. And I guess I probably should have done this before I transformed him, but give me a second. I'm gonna put Hot Rod back into a car. But you can actually open the back of this and put Hot Rod inside. So there is that. And you also can take this gun and plug it on top. There are 2 different ports. Oh, actually, gotta unfold it, and then use this. Then you can plug it in. And you have a mounted gun there. And that gun is blast compatible. See, so one issue I have with most of the guns on this guy is they're so close together you can't really use both barrels on all of the double barrel stuff. Because like even this is like a bit too wide. Like I'll show you. Like you can see it's just a bit too wide. So, or should I say too narrow? I don't know. It doesn't fit. But anyway, we're going to take hot rod back out. And you can turn this into like a little mobile battle station if you unplug the front cab section and come under here. There are some flip out guns. Rotate those around. Plug those into the other side. Like so. And now you got like a double-sided turret battle station thingy. And now I gotta transform hot rod again. Fortunately, it's very easy to do. And there is a way to stick him onto this turret. And it's dumb and I don't like it, but it's a thing you can do. So what you do is you flip down his heels, and then trying to remember exactly how this works, because like I said, it's kind of dumb. I know you gotta. Okay, yeah. So there are these little tabs here on the base. You want to come here with his feet and like hook them around. So you can see there's a groove here where the foot sort of clips in, and you're gonna fit those tabs into that groove. And it's not really great, but yeah, it's hard to do this while bending over in front of a camera too. And yeah, basically after that you just kind of rest his hands where you think the handle would be. It's really not a great connection, but yeah, see, he doesn't even hold on. But you can do that. I don't know why you would bother. It's more frustrating than anything else. So there is that. I should probably talk about hot rod's articulation. So you do get some movement at the heel if you want. You do get full bend at the knee because of the transformation. No waist. Ball jointed hips. Ball jointed shoulders. Ball jointed elbows. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So there, covered my bases. So moving on to this little matrix bit. You pretty much can plug the blast effects in the top if you want. Here it is with the blue one. Sort of make a sword that you can give to Prime. Well, move this up again. And the instructions actually say to do it with the orange one to give him a fire sword, so that does work. And of course you can use it with the other yellow ones too if you so choose. So there's that. Oh, I almost forgot, he has one other accessory. If we open up his chest, because that's where I left it, he does have that little zodiac there. So, and it's painted on one side. It's just a little ball of clear plastic. You can stick that in there too if you want. And if you, I don't remember how well this works, but I think you can, not really, you can't really put this in there as a matrix because there's sort of a little curved bowl to this that this sort of slots into. There is a peg hole, but yeah, it's sort of, see, it's in a little bowl shape there. Yeah. So you can't really give him the matrix in his chest, which is a bit of a bummer, but it's whatever. And to close that back up for now. And just for anyone wondering, mine did have the window issue. I did fix that. It's not hard, still annoying. Anyway, let's move on to his blaster. So it's done up all in black. You do get a couple different pegs. This is the big one here is for a vehicle, and this one is for his hand. Okay, I'll fit it into his hand. So yeah, you can have him blasting Decepticons. And once again, it is blast compatible. So there is that. But another thing I want to discuss with the gun is we do get this tiny little plastic bullet in clear blue plastic, and you can slot it in right here above like the magazine. Now before I do that, there's a couple issues I have with this little bullet, and it's that it's not blast compatible, because like it would be really cool. Well, I guess you could stick it on like that because it's small, but you know, have it firing out of the gun, but it doesn't actually plug on or plug into other blast effects. It's too big. And the same goes for the actual barrel of the gun. Like, you made a bullet for the gun, why not make it look like it's shooting out of the gun? Why does it not fit? So, not the end of the world, but I feel like that's a really simple thing that was massively overlooked. So, but yeah, you can just take your bullet and it will clip in there. And it stays in nice and solid, so you don't have to worry about it falling out and disappearing. That's pretty much the only thing you're really going to do with it. So, just leave it in there. But yeah, you can pew pew, bang bang, and all that good daka daka stuff. So, let's see, we do want to do a couple comparisons here. So, the first one, I want to compare him next to a Titan. Okay. Here he is next to the Guardian. Try and get them both as much in the shot as I can. So there he is next to like a full $200 Titan. And yeah, there was a lot of debate online about whether or not this guy was worth the $150 or if he should have just been a commander or yada yada. And he's kind of in between, because like here's our biggest commander, Jetfire, and you can see he's, you know, a bit bigger. You know, he's a fair bit bigger, but he's definitely, you know, not $200 Titan. So, you know, I wonder if maybe if they had cut down the amount of accessories and blast effects, if he could have been like, you know, $125, but I don't think he would have fit into like the commander price point by any means. So it's sort of a weird spot. I do think $150 may have been a little bit much for him, but he was definitely more than commander price for sure. So there is that. And just because we need to get it in there, here he is next to Studio Series Pride. Alright, you can move now. Find a good spot. Set him where we'll be out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna switcheroo here so that the camera doesn't do weird stuff to me in like 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. My camera has a recording time limit, and I also needed a drink of water, so I figured it'd probably be a good time to do that. But now we can move on to the first transformation, which is going to be his base mode, because honestly that's closer to robot than his truck. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to squeeze his legs together. And we are going to come here and pop these panels off. Oh, they both came off. Oopsie. Come back here. So yeah, they're just on these like red clips. But yeah, you want to come here and tab those together in the middle. You're going to fold out these ramp thingies. And then we are going to come over here. Let's see, where's the good stuff? We want to open up these treads, I do believe. And I want to make sure I'm not. Yeah, okay, we want to open these parts first. And then we can open the treads. Like so. Like this. And it'll look like that. We're going to set that off to the side. So, yeah, so for the base mode, we are going to leave his arms out. We are going to open his chest, flip these pieces out. Then we are going to unhook his head and have him look down into his own gaping chest, just for the extra trauma. Then we are going to rotate his waist to the side, specifically his his right side. Gonna lift up the skirt panel. We're gonna scoot his legs out here. There we go. Then, so you want to make sure that this is level. So we want to make sure that's sticking out level. Then we want to move these panels here. We're going to untab them. They're on a double hinge. You're going to bring them forward. I think I'm doing this wrong. No, I know what I'm doing wrong. You got to bend the knee a little bit forward, like that. Bring these out. You want bring these over. I think we just sort of set them there. I don't think they need to tab in for this. Untab. And that just popped off. So I set those there. Then we are going to, which side? There we go. Hold on. Do want to open up his leg cavities like so. That wouldn't explain why his, I don't remember his kneecaps colliding so much. So we're supposed to do that. There we go. Yeah. Have these legs back together again because they keep coming untapped from each other. Those open, and then I think we're supposed to fold these feet up. I can't really tell. Just gonna do it anyway. Then for this, so we want to fold down this blue thing here, and then that is going to tab here into the treads. So I want to make sure, yeah, it's this side. Basically, just want to do it into this little hole right here. You gotta do this just bending over. I think that's the only thing we really gotta do for that. Yeah, just sort of do that, and then yeah, more or less you got the base mode there, and there's a few things you can do with that. Also, it tells you to like put the little turret arrangement over here, and then plug this, I believe, over here, like this, into this little wheel. And you can put your hot rod on it, and this little wheel will let you spin it around. So there's that you can do. And of course, you know, you can give him his big gun and have that with like the blast effects and all that. So yeah, you got some options there for what you display him doing. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for, well, no, actually, forgot. They do mention in the instructions that you can fit hot rod here in the chest. So yeah, there's that. I don't really care about this base mode. There are very few characters I actually care about the base mode. I think like Omega Supreme. That's about it. Because his alt mode is actually supposed to be a base mode. But, oh yeah, I should do a size comparison. Come on. Here it is next to Fort Max from, what was it, Cybertron? Just give you an idea of how the base mode stacks up. Okay, so let's take this off. So now what we're going to do, we're going to transform him into the truck mode. Now, totally forgot to mention, I did mention this is a gun, and should have showed this off before. And that's really in there. But the way you give it to Prime is you fold it up, and then this peg is how it fits in his hand. So like so. Oh yeah, and I should also mention that when you plug this blaster in his hand, this little tab is going to this slot above his wrist. So. Okay, now that I've mentioned the things that I forgot, let's get him transformed again. So first things first, we are gonna turn this back into the treads. Close this up. Pull this in. We can just leave like that because they are going to be tabbed together anyway. But we're going to come here to the robot, and we are going to flip his head inside and close up that chest. Then we're going to come here and flip out these panels here. So bring those back in. Now with the arms, let's see if I can just think this a little easier around myself. Go ahead and set it on the table. So for the arms, you are going to come here and open this panel like so, and this is on a slider, so you're going to slide it down. Going to, so you believe it? No, other way. I'm going to flip the fist around like this, move it on that slider again, move it back in, and line that up, and then you can close this. Then you do want to bend the elbow backwards like so. And we're going to do the same with the other side. We're going to open this up, slide it, move it, slide it, move it, slide it, close it, bend that elbow backwards. Going to rotate these guns down, and we are going to bring these shoulder pads up after untabbing them. Oh right, we do have to take these panels with the Autobot symbols and fold them down like so. That way we have enough room. Close this, and then we want to tab this stuff together, and that will form the front of the truck. Then do you want to flip this back up, I do believe. Then we are going to bend that waist back straight, rotate the legs, then we do want to close the legs back up like so. Actually, before we do that, you do want to take this, unplug this, and these pop off a lot. This definitely has a lot of pop off parts. Anyway, we put this back into its truck cab thingy, and There are 2 slots here and 2 square pegs in here, and you can just slide this in. And that will tab into his leg. And then you can just close that up. Close that up. Hold on. It's not closing all the way. Might have done this wrong. Hold on. No, that's not wrong. No, just wasn't in all the way. Alright, close that up. Tab those legs together. Then for this piece here, we want to open this up. And we're going to fold it back around. Actually, before we do that, we want to open this crotch panel like so. And we are going to sort of bend the knees a little bit to get this under. And I don't think, yeah, that's something else. Oh, wait, no it is. When you, so there are these like tab things here on the knee, and they are going to go into this slot here. So, you want to do that. Straighten out the legs, and then we are just going to sort of squeeze those in there. And that's not really working, but we'll do that again in a minute. Make sure that these hip skirts are down, and then this is going to tab in there. There's also 2 little holes and 2 little pegs. And you want to make sure you sit, because you do need these to line up, and without everything sitting flush on the table, they tend to ratchet back out of place. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, now we can flip this part over and bring these down, and they will tab in. And then these, there's a little slot here and a little tab right here on that shoulder piece. So we're just gonna clip those into place, and that should be everything there. And we want to take this and just tab it back on. And then there we have him in his vehicle mode. And you can pretty much store like all the blast effects and stuff into the other leg if you want. I don't really tend to do that, but it is a thing you can do. As far as the guns, you can take this gun and it will tab here like so. And then this gun, the big peg, will go here. And then again, actually I probably should open this up. It's probably best to either put this in the chest, or you can tab them both in. These square pegs have little hole slots in them. You can plug those in. You can throw a hot rod in there as well. Just, or you can, put them in the trailer thingy before you throw it in there. It's probably the best way to do that. Come on. Come on, hot rod, cooperate. Stick that in there, and yeah, like I said, you can pretty much fit all these in there if you really want. Slam it closed. But yeah, because of the rubberized plastic, I don't actually put these in there. Again, this one is not rubberized plastic, so it's fine if you want to. Put that one in there. Yeah, there he is in his vehicle mode, and it actually rolls really well. So yeah, and all of these are like pinned-in wheels, so that's probably why. And it's a very simple vehicle, and it honestly feels more like a big like mobile military base than like a truck, really. But hey, it's what it is. it's a thing that rolls and looks like Optimus Prime, let's be honest. But still, I do think it's cool. I will say, I do think the engineering on this guy is a little bit too simple. It almost feels like the world's biggest deluxe class, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm not entirely against simple transformations and stuff, because a lot of times simple is, you know, it makes things very smooth and straightforward. But with a Titan, it does feel a little like they were lazy about it. I don't know. It's not really bad. I just feel like it could have been a little bit more, I guess. But that's really my only complaint on that regard. But let's do a couple more comparisons here. We'll get one more Titan in. Might as well get the other Age of the Primes Titan, the reissue Trypticon, in here to see how he looks in his ship mode. Get him out of the way. And I do want to compare to another Commander as well. Here he is next to Commander Rodimus. Just to give you an idea of how he stacks up next to a Commander. Again, he is just too big for the Commander slot. So. But yeah, for the most part, I'm pretty satisfied with this guy. Again, there are, you know, issues and nitpicks and whatnot. Again, there are a few parts that tend to pop off that are, you know, they're just on the friction joints. It's like these side panels pop off. You know, I've heard other people have more trouble with these. Mine are pretty solid. The treads are pretty solid on mine, but you know, it may vary. I do feel like they kind of padded them out with like way too many accessories. I think I would have preferred just a somewhat lower price. Like, I feel like he probably could have been like $125 without all the extra accessories, but it is what it is. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who are happy to get blast effects. I do like blast effects, it's just I don't want them melting my figures, and they tend to do that if you leave them on too long. Because I actually did that with, what was it, the Frankenstein crossover. I left his on there too long, and it actually like peeled off some of the paint on the end of his weapon. So, but other than that, the figure overall is pretty solid. Again, the little bullet, I wish that had more to it. I wish it would like actually plug into the barrel of the gun and maybe work with more blast effects. Because like it's a bullet and it's for a gun, but you can't make it like shooting out of the gun. That's kind of dumb. Yeah, otherwise I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not really sure where to. I think as far as a rating goes, I think I might have to put him at a 7. Because like he's good, but he's definitely not great. I don't regret buying him or anything, but I feel like a lot of people probably wouldn't be completely satisfied. And even as someone who really likes Optimus Prime, I feel like there could have been a bit more to this. Like the transformation and just overall, like they did feel very padded out with all the extra little accessories, but yeah, I think he's just okay. So that's gonna be my final verdict on that. But maybe you feel differently. Maybe you think this guy's the greatest thing in the world. I am glad that we are getting another Star Convoy over here in the States. Because I think the only other one that was like readily available was like the Mastermind Creations one, which I should have grabbed because I have that one in my shelf in the other room. But I think the only other one besides the original was like that retool of the Power of the Primes one, but I think that was only a Japanese version. I don't think they sent that over here to the States. I'm not sure. But you know, it's nice to be able to add another version of Optimus Prime to my ever-growing collection. I definitely didn't say obsession. No, not me. So yeah, I think that's about all there really is to say, so I'll quit talking your ear off and wrap this review up. So yeah, this was my review of the Star Optimus Prime / Star Convoy Titan class, and this is Soul Prime 13 saying transform and soul out.